Most users think of Quickshots as a way to do some elaborate selfies with friends, maybe on vacation. But this tool can also be useful in many different situations to reveal the landscape around an exciting landmark. To quickly gather some cinematic footage of an unknown location, or for real estate videography. Let's see how Quickshots work in the Mini 3. We access them on the photo video menu above the shutter. In the vertical menu to the left, the different models are listed: Dronie, Rocket, Circle, Helix, Boomerang and Asteroid. It is possible to use auto or manual exposure, which is good. We can set the resolution to 4K, 2.7K or 1080p. The only frame rate available is 30 frames per second. We don't have a choice of color mode, normal is the only one available. So there are some limitations in terms of videography, but it is still possible to use them for some interesting footage. After having chosen a specific shot, we must select a target by drawing a box around it. If people or vehicles are on the frame, a plus sign will be overlaid, and we can select them as target by simply tapping on the plus sign. Most of the modes are quite slow, so it can be beneficial to accelerate them or to speed ramp. During the different Quickshots, the sticks of the remote controller are not available. If we touch them, the Quickshot will be aborted. After completion of each move, the aircraft returns to the initial position, which is in most cases very useful. With Dronie, the aircraft will move away from the subject while ascending. It is a perfect move for the ending of the movie. We can select the value for the distance traveled from the starting point. In my opinion, it is better to choose a very low value when filming people and a much higher one when we want to show the surroundings of a landmark. With Rocket, the drone will ascend and advance while keeping the camera on the target. The move ends on top of the target with the camera pointing down for a bird's eye view. It is practically the famous crane move, a classic in videography. In the settings we can select the altitude from 30 meters to 80. It is obviously possible to invert the move for the reverse crane, which reveals the background. I have done a series of beginners video for users who are just starting out with the Mini 3 Pro, covering topics like master shots, the different intelligent flight modes, and plenty of other things. You can access them by clicking on the link on the screen. I've also done a specific beginner's guide for the Mini 3. You will find a link at the end of this video and in the description below. Circle is a very simplified version of the intelligent flight mode point of interest. The aircraft will rotate around the target at a constant distance and height. We can only set the direction using the yellow arrow. I don't find this option of any interest, as with point of interest we can do the same with the possibility of using the two sticks of the remote controller to get closer or farther away from the target, and to raise or descend. Helix is another excellent way to reveal the surrounding of a scene. The drone orbits around the target while rising in altitude. We can set the direction of flight and the maximum radius from 30 to 120 meters. If we use high values and start from a relatively high elevation, we might get an error message on screen, as we could reach the maximum allowed altitude. Boomerang is completely automated. We don't have any control over the movement. The drone flies away from the target while rising in altitude and then comes back on the other side of the target at the same altitude as it was at the beginning of the movement. It draws a half ellipse around the target. This is not an easy move to perform manually, and it is an excellent one for real estate to showcase a property. Asteroid is available only at a resolution of 1080p. It is good fun to show it to friends who have not seen a tiny planet before, but frankly is not that useful in videography. To make the most of these kind of shots, much better results are obtained by using a dedicated 360 degrees camera. After a recent firmware update, it is now possible to shoot Quickshots in vertical format. This is great news for users who have a social media strategy on platforms like Instagram, TikTok or YouTube Shorts. Vertical shooting is one of the main selling points of the Mini 3. Several of the Quickshot modes can perform some basic tracking of the target. During this Dronie, the camera follows my movement to keep me in the middle of the frame. Click on this link to watch my beginner's guide to the Mini 3 Pro, walking you through all you need to know for users starting out with this drone. Don't forget to hit the like button if you find this video interesting. Thank you.